12 Doctors, 12 costumes. Not forgetting John Hurt's War Doctor. Since Jodie Whittaker was announced as the 13th Doctor 4 months ago now, one of the biggest questions that fans have been asking is what will she be wearing? After all, clothes maketh the madame, as 5 Who fans recently told us. Well, suddenly out of nowhere, at 1 PM on a Thursday afternoon, the BBC decided to tweet a picture of the new Doctor's costume. As has become kind of common with these Series 11 news reaction videos, before I tell you properly what I think, let's just go through my very first reaction and where I was when I heard this news. Well, I'd just finished the last period of the morning at school, and I was getting ready to go to lunch with my friends, and then I just saw the tweet on my phone while I was on Twitter, and just literally, my heart stopped. It really is such an exciting moment, because this image, of the Doctor in this costume, the 13th Doctor, is going to stick in our minds and be used on so much merchandise. It's going to be all over the internet, all over our television screens next year. It's such a big part of this new era, the visual look of the new Doctor. So it's a really exciting moment. I was so excited at the time that I even thrust my phone into my friends' faces, and they're not really interested in Doctor Who that much, but I forced them to look at it and go, the new Doctor's costume, this is exciting, watch Doctor Who. Yeah, it was a great moment, really was. Very, very exciting. So my first thoughts, back then at the time when I saw this image on my phone, mixed feelings really. It certainly wasn't what I was expecting, but then again, I don't really know what I was expecting. It just seemed, well, it seems different, which is a good and a bad thing, I suppose. Perhaps slightly too casual. It's kind of a t-shirt and trousers and an overcoat. But hey, who's to judge? I have no doubt that it will grow on me with time. This is day one of the next 3 or 4 years of Jodie as the Doctor. So there's a lot of time for it to grow on me and for me to get to grips with it. I must say as well that I had kind of associated the 13th Doctor with the hoodie outfit that she wore in the clip, the preview clip, when she was first announced. So I don't know about anybody else, but that's kind of messed with my brain a bit, because that had become the default costume for her. But like I say, I'm sure in hindsight, as the months and years go on, we will look at this as the definitive 13th Doctor outfit, of course we will. But nevertheless, like I say, I was still hugely excited, even if I'm not entirely sure on the costume. There's no doubt that it was a really great moment and a landmark moment for this new era and for Doctor Who Series 11. I was so kind of, enthralled by it that I basically wouldn't shut up about it for the rest of the day, and I'm still going on about it now to you guys on YouTube. I even did a quick drawing of the announcement image. We had a mindfulness workshop at school in the afternoon, whatever that was about. But anyway, there was adult colouring in and stuff. I thought, no, I'll get a blank sheet of paper and just, draw this new outfit. If nothing else, as an excuse to just look at it even more and, ingrain it into my head. Because as I say, it's a massive thing. It's a new Doctor's outfit. It's going to be everywhere next year, basically, and for the next few years until Jodie leaves. So it's a very big thing. One of the 13, we've now got the 13 Doctors, the 13 outfits. They're all there. Going into a bit more detail about the outfit itself, I like how there are nods to other Doctors' outfits. There's the braces like the 2nd and 11th Doctors, the multicoloured sections which sort of echo the 4th Doctor's scarf. I will admit that my first thoughts about this aspect was allusions to, LGTB stuff, the rainbow symbol. And that kind of gave me slightly mixed feelings, because I quite like the Doctor being asexual and not being too much of an ambassador for any particular, sexuality or anything else, or getting involved with all of that. But then again, the Doctor has been male for 12 incarnations, and when he has had romantic interest briefly, it's always been with women. I don't suppose him changing body is going to change that. It's very much like a kind of transgender thing, I suppose. I have no issue at all whatsoever with this Doctor being kind of lesbian, I suppose, and still liking females. But at the same time, I'd rather that it wasn't pushed down our throats as some kind of agenda in particular. Like I say, I've got no problem with it whatsoever, but I'm just slightly wary, you know, that with representation and stuff, the Doctor might turn into something else that he/she isn't, if that makes sense. Her boots are also pretty Fourth Doctor-esque, and she has nice TARDIS blue socks as well. Interestingly, she's wearing trousers, not a dress or a skirt. Now, before, you know, anybody says at me, well, why would she be wearing a dress or a skirt? I completely accept, you know, it's 21st century. In my own head, I was, you know, kind of thinking she's probably going to be wearing trousers like a 21st century woman would. It makes sense. But nevertheless, it's interesting because the trousers are, you know, typically masculine. There's still that slightly masculine element there, which makes sense because the Doctor has been a male in his previous incarnations. It's not like this new Doctor is suddenly really female, really feminine, in really feminine clothes, which I quite like, actually. It's kind of like a hybrid, a halfway point between the two. And maybe, you know, if the next Doctor was a female or one in the future, and they wore a skirt or a dress or something, it might make more sense. But at the same time as well, you know, I'm not presuming stuff like that, stereotypes, all of that stuff. Of course, it's fine for females to wear trousers. Just an interesting observation about, you know, the associated stereotypes in society and all that kind of stuff, and just what it says about this new Doctor, I suppose. But as if all of this wasn't enough, we've also got a glimpse of the new TARDIS exterior design, and I must say I love it. Immediately when I saw the photo for the first time, the announcement, my eyes were kind of slightly more drawn to the TARDIS than the costume, because like I say, that's still growing on me, really. But the TARDIS, instantly I fell in love with it. It's so much more like a classic TARDIS, slightly different shade of blue, which looks more distressed, which looks less new, less fresh, slightly more like it's had a history. And, you know, despite all this silly moaning, which I can get to a certain extent, I think it does look slightly more like a real police box. But I have to say as well that, you know, why should it look like a 50s, 60s police box? There's no obligation there. In canon, it's a time-space machine, and, you know, that's that, really. So I have to say, I kind of don't really get why people are sometimes a bit grumpy about the TARDIS not resembling a real police box, you know, really accurately and 100% accurately. Because as well, it's got to be a representation of what, 50 years on, we've come to visualise and recognise as a police box. Kind of like more of a myth idea. It's the mythical concept of a police box, not a real 50s, 60s police box. So yeah, it looks more classic to me, like a kind of 70s, 80s TARDIS, which I like. And to be honest, to me, that's all that matters. No worries whatsoever about any of the other stuff. Nice not to have the St. John's Ambulance sticker for a change, and the white text on a slightly darker blue sign on the front as well. There's been some speculation about the handle, I think, why one or both of the handles are on the left-hand side and not the right-hand side, and is this because Jodie is left-handed? Well, who knows, but I would say that as a left-handed person myself, that would be pretty damn awesome if she was, if the 13th Doctor was a left-handed person. So yeah, that's about it for this video. To round up, mixed feelings about the costume, but I think it will grow on me, and I absolutely love the new TARDIS exterior design. Please let me know what you think of these two massive announcement things in the comments below. Do you like the costume or not? Do you like the TARDIS or not? And feel free to agree or disagree with anything I've said and to debate and discuss. That's what the comment section is there for, absolutely. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon for some more new videos. Goodbye for now.